Well, hey everybody, it is Monday night. That means it's Check-In Monday. Grateful to have you with me on this evening and have you with me tonight. What a blessing it is to be able to share with you. And I know that you're going to receive tonight as we're going to be talking on this Check-In Monday. I pray and trust that you had a good week. Last week we were not here, but glad that God bless us to be able to be in the land of the living. And I pray that you had a good week. Pray that you had a good weekend. And I pray that you feel blessed today, even today as we went through this day. It's been a beautiful day in the ATL. It's been hot. Oh my God, it's been hot today. And summer has finally arrived. And you know, when summer arrives, everything changes. People's mentality, their mindset changes. And so we pray that you will be safe during this summer season. Going to ask you, if you have never been here before on our Check-In Mondays, let me know where you're viewing from. And then I want you to do this, whether you're on YouTube or Facebook. That's right. Like and share. Share with us tonight. And I know it'll be a blessing. We want to thank God for those that we see here this evening and tonight. And want to thank God for you being here. I see Mother McDaniels. I see Sister Austin that's here tonight. We want to thank God for each and every one of you that are here and others that have tuned in. So by all means, share and like this tonight, and we're going to get right into it, and we're going to be sharing on tonight. I want to talk to you tonight on this Check-In Monday, something that came to me today, and I certainly want to share it with you tonight. And thank you from Arizona, Phoenix. Oh my God, I don't know. I guess they built up Phoenix a lot, but I will say this: when we used to travel with my late uncle, we used to go to Phoenix every year in, if I'm not mistaken, we would be in Phoenix right about March, because we'd be on our way to California, to LA, to go to Academy Cathedral. And we would always start there on Easter Sunday. And we would go to Phoenix. I love Phoenix. I love the open space. I love sitting there and seeing the mountains and seeing the snow on top of the mountains. And we would even go to in the reservations, the Indian reservations and stuff, and go up into those mountains and stuff. I used to love Phoenix. And I'd always said to myself, if I ever moved anywhere in the country, I would move to Phoenix. I think they built it up now. The only thing I didn't like about Phoenix was the hot weather. It was hot. When I tell you it was hot, it was hot. It was hot. And so I didn't like that too much. But yeah, Andy Girl, all right, from Hartford, Connecticut. Thank you. All right, let me get right into this tonight. I want to share this with you tonight and get right into it. I'm not going to hold you and be long with this. This morning, the Lord did to me what he always does. And he told me this years ago. He told me he wanted me to pay attention to things around me. I want you to pay attention to things around you. And if you pay attention to those things, I will show you and give you insight and revelations about just things around you. And so this morning, as I went to pick my grandkids up, they were coming for homeschool and to be with us today. And as I was driving on the highway, it was a lot going on, a lot of busyness on the highway. And as I was driving, looking through the rearview mirror, looking through the side mirrors and stuff, and the Lord spoke to me and said, there's a blessing in mirrors. And I stopped, because I didn't stop driving. I stopped when I started thinking, because I almost wanted to take my phone out, and you know, we're not supposed to have our phones in the hand. I want to take my phone out and at least remind myself of what he said. He said, there's a blessing in mirrors. And I want to show you exactly what he said to me while I was driving, for those of you to get this revelation of the blessing of mirrors. There's a blessing in mirrors. I don't think many of us has ever looked at mirrors around our house or in our cars or whatever. I don't think we've ever looked at them as a blessing, but mirrors are a blessing. And you can see mirrors and various things around you and things that are going on. And mirrors, if you really look at it, we pay no attention because there's something that's always around us. But if you take time to look and stop and watch and look at mirrors, you can see. Now, when we were growing up, when I was growing up, maybe not many of you, but when I was growing up, my grandmother, rest her soul, they were sort of superstitious a little bit. And they had some things that they would tell you. And one of the things, and if anybody can attest to this, and it was a fact in your house too, mirrors, if you broke a mirror, they would tell you, if you break a mirror, you're going to have 7 years of bad luck. 7 years of bad luck. And you couldn't break mirrors and stuff. That was almost like sinning around my house. You couldn't break no mirrors. And so that was the thing we sort of grew up with. I think we got out of it as we got older, but when we were younger, we took that at heart, that to break a mirror, if you broke a mirror, you had 7 years bad luck. We believe that. Hey, that's my cousin April. Hey, April. And we believe that she knows. They told us that was 7 years bad luck. And I don't know what the remedy was or what we had to do to get from under the bad luck. But that was what they told us, 7 years of bad luck. That was something that they really drilled in us as small children. And one of these days I'm going to do something where I just talk about the superstitions of what, what they used to tell us and the things they used to say to us, because some of the stuff we grew up with, and we might as well admit it, some of the stuff they told us, some of us, we still hold that stuff to heart today. And we will do things, and I won't get into it tonight, but there were some things they just told us we didn't do. But the Lord said to me, it helps us, and as we look at mirrors, mirrors are a blessing. Let me point out just a few things why mirrors are a blessing as he began to talk to me today. First of all, if you got mirrors in your house, he said to me, mirrors are a blessing because it helps us to see our imperfections. When we have mirrors in the house, when you go out the door, most of the time, you don't go out of the house without looking in a mirror, whether you've got a small mirror, whether you got a big mirror. You just don't go out the house without looking in a mirror. Most ladies, you do your makeup by using a compact mirror, those little bitty things with the round mirror, and you hold it up and you checking your eyelashes, or you checking your makeup, or you checking your lipstick. That's the blessing. You don't want to go out and not have everything correct. You stand in front of mirrors. Most of us got probably more mirrors in our house than we've got telephones. We probably got more mirrors in our house than we have TVs, because mirrors are all around the house. Mirrors in the bathroom. You got mirrors everywhere. And you've got, I've got this is my mirror here. I travel with this mirror here. And I've got another one, but I'll wrap this up when I'm traveling out of the country. I use this mirror, and even when I'm doing my head and getting ready, I use this mirror with the big mirror behind me. I use this mirror to look just to see where I may have missed a spot. If I'm shaving my head, I want to see where I missed the spot at, and I use this mirror because it's a blessing. Now, I could do it just by feeling, but it's better when I use the mirror and can see it. So I can look in this mirror right now and see if there's something that is out of place, out of order. And sometimes you do your best to do before you come on screen, but your shirt may be some kind of way, and I can use this mirror and straighten it out. And so the power and the blessing of a mirror is when you use it and use the mirror. And so it shows us, mirrors show us our imperfections. It shows us things that may be out of place, things that may be out of order. And so we take mirrors, and that's one of the blessings of a mirror. It's good to have them around, y'all, so you can see. Sometimes if you ever put something on and you thought it was looking real nice, but you didn't have anybody around you to sort of help you know if it looked nice. But when you looked in the mirror showed you that those colors don't match. That don't match with what you got on. That's not a match. And so you may have changed a couple of times. When you go in the store to put stuff on and to buy stuff, notice in the dressing rooms, they've got mirrors. So if they're not in the dressing room, they outside, you come out and you stand in front of the mirror and you turn and you look to see what you've got and how it looks. Why? Because the mirror shows you imperfection. It shows you what looks good, and it shows you what's off and what's not good. And I often say sometimes we need to stand in the mirror of God's word so we can see our imperfections and see ourselves. And sometimes that's a good thing to have. So number one, it helps us to see our imperfections. Helps us to see our imperfection and help us to see where we're doing all right at. You know, when you go to the barbershop, what is the thing that they do at the barbershop? I guess they do it with the ladies too when y'all go to get your hair done. But when he gets through doing and cutting your hair, he gives you the mirror. And he says, how's that look? And you doing like this and looking over your hair to see how it looks. Why? Because even though he's cut it, you didn't see what he was doing. But that mirror helps you to see what he just got through doing. So we find the power and the blessing of that mirror. The next thing he began to talk to me about this morning, he says, it helps us to see what's around us. It helps us to see what's around us. Mirrors. Now, if you notice, there are different types of mirrors. There's mirrors in the house. There's mirrors in the car. There's mirrors in different rooms. But it helps us to see what's around us. Mirrors are important to see what's around us because sometimes you may not see. If you sit in the car sometimes, you may not see what's coming on the side of you in the parking lot, or you may not see. But if you're watching those mirrors, or if you're watching through that rearview mirror, sometimes people may be trying to sneak up on you, but they can't do it because you're looking through the mirrors. You're conscious of what's going on. And even in the house or even in other places, when you're in that mirror, you can see what's behind you. You can see what's around you. And that's important to be able to see that. And so there's really a blessing when you've got mirrors around you, when you can see things. You've seen people sometimes that try to do things and somebody say, I see you. And they're startled because they didn't see you coming up and they didn't know that you were watching and looking at them through the mirror. That's why in many cases, even they've got what they call two-way mirrors, where they can see the person, but the person can't see them. And they've got mirrors around. And that's how they do it in department stores. They've got, you may think you're looking in the mirror. You may be looking in the room where they're looking right at you, taking some out the store. So it is a blessing to have these mirrors. And it helps us to see again what is around us. And I want you to understand that. That's so important that you be able to see what's around you, what's there. Now, another thing, and this is the reason he caught my attention with this today, and I've seen this before, but he says mirrors, the blessing of mirrors, helps us to see what is coming up behind us. It helps us to see what's coming up behind us. What do you mean? I don't know if you've experienced this lately, especially with these new cars, these hyped up cars, these cars that are just, I mean, and they're going fast, And this morning, as we were coming, traffic was flowing, and I don't understand why people are driving so fast and can't go no further than none of us, the rest of us are going. And somebody came in the car, one of those little souped up things. I mean, they were flying. And I saw them. The only way I saw them was through the rear view mirror. And because I was able to see them, I was able to make an adjustment because I didn't know if they were going to get over or run me in the back, but they got over. And sometimes I've even seen it where you're driving and people, they just get over, or sometimes they don't get over, and you have to look in the right rearview mirror to see if any traffic's over there and get over to get out of their way. And so it helps us to see what's coming up behind us. It's important to see what's behind you. I'm not talking about looking back to see your mistakes and all the stuff. Sometimes you do need to look and see where you come from, but these mirrors help us to see what is behind us, what's coming up, because some people, they're careless. They don't care anything. And people have been ran into the back and sometimes got whiplash and other things because they didn't see people coming. But I'm one that watches mirrors closely. I watch on the left side. I watch on the right side. I watch my rear view. I'm always watching mirrors. I had to bring some things home Saturday. My wife wanted me to bring some things home from church where we had some balloons, and I put them in the car. And I remember her saying to me when I got home, she said, I thought you were going to probably make another stop. I said, no, I need to get home and bring these balloons home. And she said, okay. I said, because they were blocking my mirrors. They were blocking my view. And I don't need anything obstructing my view while I'm driving. Because if you got things obstructing your view and your mirrors is blocked, then there's some things you probably won't see. If you drove a car today with no mirrors at all, no side view mirrors, no rear view mirror, more than likely, we're probably going to have some type of accident or run into something because we don't have any mirrors. That's why it's important to have and to know the blessing of mirrors around us and the blessing of mirrors in our lives. You need to be able to understand that sometimes it may look like that's insignificant or whatever, but you need to be able to see what's coming up behind you. It's almost like having discernment and the spirit of discernment to be able to see what's coming up behind you. I was in 2000, I forgot, I think it was maybe 2018 or something like that. I was driving on the highway coming from the store late one night. Wasn't late, it was about 8 o'clock. And I wasn't paying attention in the mirrors. I really wasn't. I was just driving and listening to that music, wasn't paying attention, wasn't viewing, looking in the rearview mirror, was not looking in the side view. And next thing I felt a jolt. And I was like, what in the world was that? And then I looked, and there was a guy in a car going fast. He had sideswiped me. I don't know what he was doing, but he came up and boom, sideswiped me. And my car did like this and then straightened back up. And, me, I was after him. I was trying to get him and at least get his tag number, but I couldn't get it. And so when I called the police, I had to go back to where it happened at. And when I got out, the person had sideswiped me, hit my door, and to the point that I couldn't get the back door open, had made this big old mess. And I said to myself, I should have been paying attention. If I would have saw him coming, I would have made an adjustment and got out of his way. But because I wasn't paying attention and noticing him coming up beside me or behind me, I didn't do that. So we have to understand that sometimes we have to be able to look at and see what's coming up behind us. There's a blessing in these things, in mirrors, seeing what's coming up behind you. Same way like on your phone. If you're doing something and you're looking in your phone and somebody trying to come up behind you, you can see them in the phone. It's a blessing to be able to have these things. Another thing he said to me is mirrors help to keep us safe. When you got mirrors in your car, it helps keep you safe. Sometimes we may put ourselves in dangerous situations. Well, what do you mean by that? Sometimes we put ourselves where we, if you park at a rest stop, or you in the line ordering something or whatever, and sometimes people do crazy stuff at crazy times. I've seen where people you be at the store and people will park behind you or pull up beside you and with the intentions of doing something crazy. But if you are paying attention to what's going on through the mirrors that are around you and stuff, and you have become keen in your senses, then you'll be able to know, okay, I see them trying to do something. And you'll look. I'm always, when I go into the store, I'm looking. When I'm pulling out, I'm looking. And there have been times, of course, now they've got the rear view cameras that show you when you're backing up. But there have been times that I didn't pay attention and I might have hit something. I may have done something. I almost tore a mirror off my car the other day because I was looking, my tire had went flat. And I was wondering why my car was leaning in the garage. And I just thought, I said, well, maybe. And so I'm backing out and I'm trying to figure out what's going on with this car. As I'm backing out, all of a sudden I hear something go, poof, and I'm like, and I look over and my mirror, I'm like, oh my God. And so I got out and I was able to fix it and put it back. And I was like, I ain't gonna be able to make it without this mirror. And what was the thing that I tried to do? I tried to make sure it was working, not just put back, but it was working, because the mirrors, when you're driving out, if you put it in reverse, they go down so you can see. And if you're driving, you can shift them around. So I was working with the mirrors to see what I could do to make sure the mirror was working, because these things keep us safe. It keeps us where we need to be. And that's why even when you go into different places, they got a lot of mirrors in different places. You're like, why they got all these mirrors? Because they're looking and viewing. So mirrors help to keep us safe. Last thing, and I'm going to get out of here, is it shows us what we look like. Mirrors are a blessing because it really shows us. No, we don't have to go by what everyone else tells us. The blessing of a mirror is it really shows us what we look like. There's one thing about the mirror that I need everyone to get tonight. There's one thing about the mirror that I need everyone to know tonight, and that is the mirror does not lie. Did y'all hear what I just said? The mirror does not lie. Mirrors don't lie. They don't. They will tell you the real deal. Mirrors will help you and see you, help you see yourself, help you see whatever, because other folk will tell you, they'll tell you look wonderful. They'll tell you look great. They'll tell you, oh, but if you take some time and look in that mirror, you may see food on your face that they never told you. Sometimes, you be taking pictures, and I always tell them when we're doing videos and stuff, taking pictures, I always said to them, I said, you know what? I need you all, this is what I need y'all to do. I need you all to tell me before we start taping the filming, is anything out of place? Is anything anywhere that I need to get right? Because sometimes if you just be honest about it and you just be truthful about it, sometimes, people will tell you what you want to hear. But a mirror will never lie to you. They never do. Sometimes, I can be, I'll be like, man, I need to do this. And I look in the mirror. The mirror has never told me a lie. Not one time has a mirror ever lied to me. it always tells me the truth. It tells me what I look like. It tells me if I wash my face, if I didn't wash my face. It tells me if I need some lotion, if I don't need no lotion. It tells me if my hair is combed, if my hair is not combed. It tells me if I got on the right clothes, if my clothes are matching. It has never lied to me. And it has never lied to you. Now, others have lied. That's a fact. But the mirror has never lied to none of us. And so when I was coming home this morning, he said, there's a blessing in mirrors. And I'm like, that's true. And then we well, some of you probably don't know, but then you hear that song that the late artist Michael Jackson did. I'm looking at the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways. When you look in the mirror, then most of the times you don't look to always criticize others. When you look in the mirror, you look to find out what's wrong with me. And probably the blessing of the mirror is most of us, sometimes we avoid the mirror and we just want the opinion of others of what they think. But in order for us to be able to really see us, we have to get in the mirror and see what we look like. And so I thank God for the mirror naturally and spiritually, because it helps me to see myself. We should all want to see what we really look like, not just what people's opinion of us are. Because what I found out, and I'm out of here, but what I found out is people will push you and tell you how great you look and how great you are, and you the best thing since sliced bread, and go through all them changes and then turn around and go somewhere and have a good laugh at your expense. And to be that child, did you see them? Oh my God. Oh Lord, I almost didn't know what to say. But a mirror never, ever lies. It'll tell you those shoes don't go with what you got on. It'll tell you that that's off. It'll tell you you may forget to put a eyelash on or whatever. A mirror never lies. A mirror will tell you something is missing. And that's why we got them around our house. In the car, for driving and safety. That's why they're around, so I can see my surroundings and what's going on around me. So I wanted to just share that with you on this Monday night. And next time you look at a mirror, next time you're in your car, next time you in front of the mirror, just say to yourself, he did tell us that the mirror never lies. He did tell us that that mirror will help us to see our imperfections. Help us to see what's around us. Help us to see what's coming up behind us. And if we use it right, it'll help to keep us safe. Because we need these things. There's a reason they keep making them. There's a reason you go to the store and there's a whole section filled with mirrors. You go to the store, there's a whole section filled with probably more mirrors than they are with phones and other things. There's a section because mirrors are very important. And they're used everywhere. They're not just used in the States, they're used all around the world. Mirrors are important. These right here are important for the purpose. Let's see, can I get that right? Yeah, for the purpose of seeing yourself. And somebody says, you got all them mirrors, you vain. No, I just need to make sure when I walk out and when I leave out, I'm looking like I'm supposed to look, because I'm looking through the mirror and I see myself. I see. If I take these glasses off and I pull that thing close in, I can see what's going on with me. Did I make sure that I was shaved right? Did I make sure is everything together? That's the purpose of what we use them for. And so we have to use the importance and know the blessing and the importance of mirrors. Now, somebody said, Pastor Mark, where did you get that from? I'm telling you, I was on the highway this morning. The Lord said, there's a blessing in mirrors. Because I'm in the car with my grandkids, and this car is, it's coming. And I'm like, is he going to slow down or stop? And all of a sudden, he went on past us flying. But I saw him coming. And I was ready to make any adjustments I need to make. I was just waiting to see where he was going. Any adjustments I need to make sure I'm out of his way. And then there's sometimes you see people coming up behind you and stuff like that, and you see they're in a hurry. What you do? Get over and let them pass. You don't slow down. You get over and let them go past, because wherever they going is too important. And when you trying to get where you going living, you ain't trying to be in no accident. So you let them go right on by you and do what you got to do. All right. Thank y'all so much. I'm going to get out of here. I thank you for joining me. Many of you join me every Monday night for Check-In Monday, and it's just a time of checking in and inspiration. Let's continue to pray for one another. Let's continue to love each other, love our families, love your family, friends, relatives, whoever it is. And I know sometimes we run into places where we've got issues, and sometimes you got issues because everyone's different. No one's the same, and that's with family and everybody. But let's love on each other. Let's care for one another, because the fact of the matter is, just because someone's here today don't mean they're going to be here tomorrow. I mean, you just could have seen them an hour ago and wake up to the news that they already gone. So let's love each other while we have each other. Let's pray for each other and keep each other lifted, and continue to do those things. Thank you so much for being with me. I look forward to seeing many of you again on next Monday. And those of you who want to join me tomorrow night for Bible study, you can do that at 7. I'll be back here tomorrow night for Bible study. We talked about James chapter 1 last week. We're going to talk about James chapter 2 tomorrow at 7 p.m. You can join me for Bible study. May God bless you, and may all God's choice blessings be yours. I look forward to seeing you on our next Check-In Monday.